Spin. Welcome back, everybody, to Maniacal Music Musings. I'm your host, Jaimie, as always, your favorite dirty white boy. Well, dirty-minded, that is. I took a shower today. You know, as musers, we commonly rev on the red line while still waiting to be given the green with all the ladies. Whether we know your number or your name, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm still waiting for Lucinda and Bambi, the Siamese twins I'm seeing, to cross one more year. They're only 17, but they play some fun head games. Speaking of head games expertise, though, let me introduce my co-host. She's famous for saying good girls don't, but I sure as hell do. But yet she's so selfish at the same time. I don't get it. And I'm still waiting to fuck around and find out, Jaimie. Just saying. I keep telling her to do what you like, or it's gonna be lonely because I want to be your lover. She's my Sharona who wants my Bologna. Yet we are blinded by science as she keeps spotting. I feel for you, but I don't want to feel you. Jaimie motherfucking Fuller.
I say this every week. Your intros get better and better, and I think that I need to stop doubting our album choices. Bravo, because I was blinded by all of that science and album right there. By all of that.
This was not an easy week to do this. Trust me. The choices,
that
the
was
album
good.
choices did not lean in my favor.
Jaimie, your album alone, are you kidding me? I feel like I need to dim the lights and get ready for some sexy time. Your whole entire album choice is nothing but perfection for our intro. Are you
kidding? Your boyfriend could thank me later. But folks, let me introduce our guest because I am so happy he could join us. You may recognize him if you're a fan of, well, me, from my other show. And I've also been a guest on his show as well. If you want to go check it out, check it out. But our guest tonight is Bob Lement, host of Static Radio Podcast, my favorite anime character out there in the podverse. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing good. How are you? That was fantastic. How you wove all these titles together. Very good. I'm impressed.
It brings me pleasure to. Yeah. It brings me pleasure to do it. Chancey never appreciated too much. I don't get it.
We all have the pleasure.
And yes, folks, we are back another week to tell you about Albums 3. And, well, this week's one of those special weeks because we're going back, way back. Almost 50 years-ish, I think, if my math's correct.
Not 50 years, okay? My sister was born in 1979, so this is 5.5 years older than me. This is 45, almost 46, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's be real here. We got
like I said, almost 50 years. But
I am I'm verklempt. I'm verklempt here. Let's talk about it.
But folks, I'm telling you, this is gonna be a good episode. I can already tell because it's some good albums, and well, we'll get to that in a minute. But first things first, Bob, why don't you tell me a little bit about what your podcast is?
Sure. So I'm a co-host of Static Radio, staticradio.com. We tell funny stories each week. This week I talked about a waitress who didn't know how to use a pen. Which is much funnier than it sounds when I just said that. But and each week we do that, and you can always come and join us because we've been doing the show live now for probably over a year on a platform called plausible.com, which is a comedy platform, and you can join in the fun. Just come and sit in every Monday at 9:30 Central.
There you go, folks. And if you go back in the backlogs far enough, you'll find a funny episode where me and Bob talked about the paranormal.
That's right.
We talked about the paranormal and music and how they coincide.
That's
So
true.
it was
Exactly.
a,
We did.
I think we went for like an hour and a half. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Um, but well, speaking of music, Bob, what album did you want to bring us, and why this one? Out of curiosity.
So, Get the Knack is the name of the album by the Knack, which I believe was their debut album back in 1979. And the reason is because this is the first album that I ever got. Can you
Oh,
believe it?
No, I can because I said I was born
Because you
1985.
sound old, Bob. You sound really old.
You
That's the thing
sound
I
you
said.
sound very old, and I love you, Bob, for this. So I love you because I was born in 1985. I'm gonna be 40 this year, and literally the second CD I ever bought was only in the 70s, and my absolute favorite song off of it was My Sharona.
Big song, huge song.
Just that was, I mean, I had other favorites, but it was, I remember the bottle cap shooting off of the bottle. Like it was only 70s. Like, no, when I saw you did Get the Knack, I'm like, listen, I felt I was old. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, well, no problem. I'm glad to help out. And My Sharona is a song that spans the ages, right? So it's really, even though the album came out in 79, it's really 80s music. If you think about it, if you listen to it, it's not 70s music. It's not disco or anything like that. It's definitely,
It's that
80s music.
dance.
Yeah.
Like 70s release from the studio, but 80s dance.
Mm-hmm.
I will agree with you. I never heard anybody say that. So I like that. I do like
yeah.
that.
And it really is kind of the cusp of, the new wave and 80s music and combination of rock and roll and new wave. I think so. Yeah. And the other thing is, these guys are just so good looking on the album cover. I can't believe it. I'm looking at the album cover and I'm thinking, how these guys aren't a band. There's some kind of models.
They aren't the band. They're the form of the fact that the bowl cut's coming back in the freaking 2025 years. So let's be real about that talk right now. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, I know some kids in school that are doing that haircut.
But I always thought it was a great album, like all the way through, and so it was really tough picking a top 5 because I remember listening to this over and over and over and over and over. And and I think a lot of great songs. It's got a lot of hooks to it, very catchy, very poppy. And unfortunately, they really didn't do much better than they did on this album, unfortunately, for the band. But they've come back, I think, a couple times with research, nostalgia and so forth, but I can't even name their second album, which is
I was going to say, fortunately for you, the fact that you chose this album and it was a great album. Bravo.
The second one was Forget the Knack. I think that was their second album.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure everybody did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they broke up. The lead singer, I think his name's Doug Feiger. I think he got pissed at everybody and left, and then it kind of fell apart. So, but then they came back together to make some money later.
Of course,
I think in like the late '90s, early 2000s. So, but I don't think they really had any more success other than this album. But this album at the time was incredibly huge. I mean, it was different, and it was a big album. My Sharona obviously was everywhere at the time. So
it was. I mean, I'll say, when you wanted to bring the Knack, I'm like, why does that sound familiar to me? And I looked at the track listing, and I'm like, oh, My Sharona, that's why this band sounds familiar. Yeah. And I was then thinking of all the alternate versions of that song, Weird Al and My Corona and all that good stuff. But I'm like, all right. I'm like, man, I got an open mind, and once I put them on first today because I wanted to see what the heck I was getting into. And I was actually honestly surprised because, I mean, they look like a freaking newer version of the Beatles on the album cover. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like I actually enjoyed the shit out of this album. Like I'm not gonna say I liked every song, but it was it was a good album overall. It was enjoyable. I could definitely go. I could have gone and seen them live and had a good time with it. Had a few drinks with it and freaking partied out. But it's just, yeah. I mean, they're just their songs sound too similar. If I had to say only one thing
Sure.
bad about them, that's what it is. Is they sound too similar, which is fine. A lot of bands have that style, so I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just if I had to pick one thing to critique, that would be what it is. But
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, they have, they've got, well, it seems like for this album, especially, the lyrics and so forth are obviously very hinged upon, young love
oh
and
god, yeah.
young lust, perhaps, in some cases. And so, yeah, I mean, but, it's kind of got a whole thing going on. It's got some stuff that's good, rock and driving kind of music. It's got stuff that's, not really no ballads or anything. Nothing really slows down tremendously on this
Mm,
album. So
I will say I did enjoy that the tempo didn't really like go down at all. Like it kind of kept the same tempo throughout the whole album. Like
mhm.
it was definitely a good thing because it kept it going. Like but it wasn't so similar that you couldn't tell when songs change either. That's the other thing that happens with these albums is when they're too similar that you can't tell when someone's song's ending. Our guest had an album last week where two of the songs did that, and I was just like, I'm like, yeah, I literally went for 6 minutes not realizing there was two songs in there. But with this album, I couldn't do that because they have like the ending of songs and they have new beginnings, and
Mhm.
it doesn't sound like they run together. So that's it was overall good. I enjoyed it. If I actually had to rank it, I would easily give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Like easily. It's
Wow,
just
look at that.
I mean, it's not an album I would put on every day of the damn week. Don't get me wrong, but
It's in rotation. Is that what you're saying?
and I mean, it's not even my favorite. It's not even my favorite Weird Al song, but I'll listen to My Bologna over My Sharona every
My
day of the week.
baloney. Yeah, there you go. And
It's nowhere near.
that
It's
was an early Weird Al song. It wasn't
that
the
80s Weird
first
Al.
one.
That's 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
80s Weird
very
Al.
early. Yeah.
But I mean, it's nowhere near the top 50 of my Weird Al songs I like. But it's just it's where I would go to first. Or I mean, that My Corona commercial from the 90s sticks out my head always
Right.
because that's when I grew up and I remember seeing that TV like every 5 seconds. But
Yeah, and there was a Sharona. The whole, it's not an average name, especially back then, but there was a Sharona, and
mhm.
the song was about Sharona, which, go figure, right? That's the kind of the weird left field kind of thing, because you think, well, maybe he just made up the name in order to make it rhyme with some things in the song, but no, there was a Sharona, and I think they dated and had a whole thing going on. So I'm
I
assuming there was a Lucinda as well, but that's a whole other song.
Yeah, I feel
I
like Lucinda was more of the lust, and Sharona had a serious hold on his heart.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't think he made the name Sharona because I don't think you could make that up out of the top of your head and just be like, oh, let's go with Sharona. No, I mean, no.
I can see it being made up, but I can feel everything about it. If the name's fake, everything else is real. That's his heart. That's his everything
Mm-hmm.
speaking.
Yeah, but and the funny thing is that at the time, probably when I was listening to it when I was younger, that was the song to listen to because it was being played everywhere. But since I listened to the whole album again here, right, for this little venture, and you know what? It's not my favorite song on the album. So go
Oh God,
figure.
no. I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't gonna be. I knew it wasn't gonna be. Even though I never heard the rest of the album, I knew it was not gonna be.
Yeah. I
But
mean, it's popular, but it's not the
it's
best
just,
song.
yeah, it's it's a novelty song almost in a way. I feel like nowadays, like it's a
Mhm.
novelty song. Like it's just one of those, like almost like a holiday song. Like you hear it once in a while and you get enjoyment out of it, but you don't want to hear it for 3 months straight, like fucking holiday songs.
It's
But
the Santa baby of Get the Knack, is what you're saying. Is that what you're
It's like the
uh,
Mariah Carey of all the seasons.
That's
Is that
right.
what we're saying?
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
basically.
yes.
But Jaimie, what was your review of the album, Jaimie?
Oh, oh. So I was teetering between a 3 or a 2.5 star, and I'm gonna give it a strong 3.5, almost 4. And it's because of the song My Sharona. It's because of the album that hit me in my digital stage. It's not just the song itself. It's not because of the other songs. I think it was when it hit me and how it hit me. So I very much enjoyed this album. I don't have a lot of notes when we go over our top 5. I don't have a lot of notes on them when it comes to single by single. But like you said, Jeremy, I feel like you summed it up great for me. It was one of those, when the song ended and when the song began, but you also enjoyed every song without skipping a beat. So I don't have any special notes. I've got a top 5, but it is 3.5 out of 5 stars. And it is because of My Sharona, my number one song. Spoiler alert.
I I feel like this whole album could be a concept album of just him walking into his high school that morning and all the different girls he sees that he wants to sleep with.
Right.
Oh,
But
absolutely. The heartbreak.
Yeah.
Oh, Tara. Oh, girls don't. And the girls, whatever they do. And then My Sharona, are you kidding me? This dude is a pimp. It's a PIMP before 50 Cent was ever on the scene.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
oh,
Just
Yeah.
saying.
the good days before he was on the scene, they should have shot him a couple more times to make sure he was down. But uh Bob, now's the fun part, 'cause I love asking the guests this.
Sure.
What are your top 5 songs for your album?
So I do like the whole album, but here's my top 5, and I think they're pretty much in the order. So you want me to go 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
We usually go 5 to 1, just
5 to 1.
suspense and all that.
So She's So Selfish is number 5 on my list, and then Your Number or Your Name, Your Number or Your Name, and then Oh Tara, Oh Tara, oh. Good Girls Don't is number 2, and then Let Me Out is number 1. My Sharona didn't make my top 5 off the album, but I still like it. But yeah, I think Let Me Out is re-listening to everything. Let Me Out's my favorite song on the album.
I feel like honorable mention is My Sharona that got you to love the album and
right.
give Let Me Out to be your number 1.
Yeah, okay. I think so. And because My Sharona, we've already mentioned it. It became a kind of a cultural phenomenon, and has had multiple lives, right? So it had a life when it was released. It's had a life several times since then, and it'll have another life more than likely in some other venue, on a movie or in another commercial at some point, or something. It's destined to keep coming back.
I feel like this song is meant for Guardians of the Galaxy 4.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
Well, I did have one honorable mention for this, and Bob already mentioned it, but my honorable mention was Your Number or Your Name, because that was a catchy ass song.
Yeah, very catchy.
I was kind of sitting there tapping my foot to it. Number 5 was Siamese Twins, The Monkey and Me. I like that song. Like it was a funny ass song.
I had a hard time at first understanding or listening to it. So it took me like 2 or 3 times of hearing it before I'm like, listen, I can't with this song. I like it, but I can't.
I mean, and then my number 4 was My Sharona, because I had to put it on the list. I felt like I had to. It wasn't going to be anywhere near the top, but I had to put it on the list. And I mean, I love that during a worldwide pandemic, it became a theme song.
Mm.
But my number 3 was Lucinda, because that was a good, that's the thing. They kind of like branched between like the Beatles and like Kroner songs. Like they kind of like branched in between them, and Lucinda hit that perfectly.
They definitely, there was, with Lucinda, I'll agree with you on that, but there was something about the Knack in general that does tie to the Beatles, and it's different in a few different songs, but Lucinda, I immediately thought of Paul McCartney, and like a close-up of him in the video is exactly what I thought of.
I mean, my number 2 was She's So Selfish, because I've known many girls like that, so it was a good theme song. But
there you go.
And my number 1, I had to put as number 1 because it's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's been in a lot of movies and TV shows, and I did not know that the Knack sang this song. I never knew who sang this song, but my number 1 is Good Girls Don't, because
girls don't, yeah, but I do.
but I do. Who doesn't love a girl like that? So come on now, had to be number one. I mean, I feel like that should be Jaimie's theme song. She walks in the room, but
Y'all wish that was my theme. I mean, it's more like Theory of a Dead Man, Bad Girlfriend. I mean, just saying. Cute though. Thank you, Jeremy. That's like the brother that wants to put his sister in the fucking soft light. That like, oh, but she's so nice. Like she's such a good girl. No, bitch, I'm not.
no. That's the point of the song. Is you're not a good girl.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I'm just the Knack gives it like I'd say almost second grade level. Like that I get where they're coming from, but I'm like, this is all the minor lead ups to some of the music we have nowadays.
Well, so it's because it was 79. They couldn't say what they wanted to say, but
they were trying to say what they wanted to say.
They were trying to.
For the timing, it worked. So yeah, nowadays is different.
I mean, it's not no fucking get low, like no, but basically what they're trying to tell you to do. But what were your top 5, Jaimie?
Like I said, I didn't have any major notes, but like Jeremy said earlier, the tie between songs were amazing. It was a lot easier to follow. You knew when the songs ended, the new songs began. So number 5 was Heartbeat. I really loved the upbeat. There was something about the way it started out that I'm like, the Knack, you just know. O Tara, or O Tara, however they want to say it. That was my number 4. And so there was times I gave one of my cousins shit and I would sing that song and it would throw right into Good Girls Don't, because if you know my family, as number 3 says on my song list, Good Girls Don't. I did have to say for number 2 and number 1, like you said, Bob, your number 1 was Let Me Out. I had a little bit of a like, I want that to be my number 1, but there is something nostalgic and meaningful to me for My Sharona being number 1. But Let Me Out was like right like 0.97 right underneath of it, like right there. So my number 2 and number 1 is Let Me Out, My Sharona.
There you go.
And that's who they remind me of. You just finally gave me the answer of who they remind me of. And I what the hell's the name of the band? But they remind me of that song, I Want You to Want Me. Is that the Ramones?
Oh, Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
Cheap Trick. I was going to say Cheap Trick, but I'm like, no, Cheap Trick.
Yeah, Cheap Trick. Oh, I love Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick's another great band. And oddly enough, another band in that era as well. So
yeah, which is what they remind me of that. Like they remind me of that song, like their singing style and their instrument style reminds me of I Want You to Want Me. But because correct me if I'm wrong, but the Knack is British, right?
No, I don't think they are. I think they're from California. I think so. Let me look. I don't know.
They formed in Los Angeles in the 1970s, but it does not say where everybody came from. But Jeremy, I do have to agree with you. The vibe you felt for that and the other song, like in the other band, I can get that. They've got a very compared to flavor to like the Beatles.
Right, they're very Beatles-esque. Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah, I think they're California band. Yeah.
Well, I mean, monkey-esque in a way almost too, but so that brings in the California thing. But all right, well, now that we discussed the Knack, I think we'll jump to my album next, just because I want to go from kind of softest to hardest in a way.
Softest to hardest? Are you talking like hardness in the bedroom? Because I feel like you had to turn this goddamn album on in order to get down and brown chicken, brown cow. What were we doing with your album, Jeremy?
Well, here's the thing. I looked to see what albums came out in 79, because with older albums, that's what I like to do. And because I just can't, I mean, I know who the hell to bring against the Knack off the top of my head. So I'm like, all right, let's look at that year. And honestly, it was an amazing year for records. Like there was not a lot of stuff I wanted to bring. There was a couple albums I did want to bring, and one of them we'll talk about later. But as soon as I saw this album, I was like, all right, I'm like, I didn't make a choice yet, but this album's gonna be in the first spot unless I find something amazing go above it, which didn't happen. So I'm like, you know what though? I'm like, I am working my way through this man's catalog, and this is the album I didn't bring on yet. So let's freaking do it. And I just made a 500 song bracket for this man. So I have seen the name of every song on this album in the last couple of weeks. But
just because you've seen the name didn't mean you listened to it. I'm just saying. I
no,
don't blame you
no.
for why you chose it, but gosh damn, 1979. Honey. Woo.
I mean, the album I had to bring because I had to, because he's a motherfucking legend, is Prince's self-titled Prince album. Because
Prince, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
And it was, and I mean, I'm not disappointed I did, but it's my first real experience into early Prince, and he is not his 90s new power generation self yet. He truly isn't. And I mean, it's obvious to tell. And I knew one song on this album before I picked it, so I was like, I knew that song was not one of my favorite songs either. But I'm like, all right, let's bring this album because I want to hear the other tracks. Because even if I only know one song on the Prince album and I don't like that song, there's gonna be other songs on that album I'm gonna fucking love. I already know it. So because it's Prince, and Prince is a god. But I'm like, all right, I was overall happy with my album I brought though. I mean, it may have started off slow, but by the end of the album, I was fucking banging my head to some of that shit. So fucking if I had to rank my own album, it probably would get like a 3.5 out of 5. Like honestly, it would get 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't as enjoyable all the way through as the Knack was, but it was Prince, so I'm not gonna turn it off and I'm not gonna stop. So and Jaimie's right. Like, oof, talk about a bedroom album. My God. I'm guessing a lot. Your sister may have been conceived this album, Jaimie. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like, she was a Valentine's baby, and I feel like the moment that first song started, I'm getting the candles lit, honey. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it literally starts off with one of Prince's biggest songs to this day. But Bob, what did you think of Prince?
I enjoyed it. I had not listened to the whole album before. I heard some of the songs, and you're right. It's much different than the popular Prince, I would call it, the Prince that everyone knows, that everyone loves, because it's much more R&B like a lot of the songs are.
It's much more like R&B sensual.
Yes,
I feel like it's much more personal. It's like it came from his heart and his damn libido, as far as I see it.
Right.
It came from like a different and deeper place. I feel like he dug too deep right away before he went into the other avenues he tapped into. So I get you on that.
And it wasn't as poppy as his other stuff. So his other,
I feel like
other stuff's poppy. So yeah.
I mean, Prince always went with the times. So as music adapted to the future things, he adapted to future things, and he did it miraculously because he's fucking Prince.
But he really hit a sensual level that I feel with his tone of voice, because I was a choir girl, his tone of voice on top of his music is different than like Marvin Gaye, your other like Oni and Usher when you're trying to do it. Are you kidding me? Prince has a whole different like sensual, there was like he was navigating from the times it was before 1979 to what it was becoming. So for me, I feel like he was that voice that was like, hey, guess what? Women need to be like put up here. They are sensual. They're beautiful. They're lovely. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about our feelings. Let's not be weird about it. So there was something like awkward about Prince, but there was something empowering, I guess you can say at the time.
I feel like this album was Prince fresh, beat-eyed, and fucking virgin, and then all the albums after Purple Rain, Sign of the Times. I think
that's just him having knowledge. He's always had the right. Ooh.
I feel like that's Prince walking out of the bedroom like, Daddy's
God
back,
made
baby.
him.
Strap on.
God made him right. Let's just say God made him right.
And And we cannot ignore the freaking self portrait on the album cover for this one. We can't ignore that.
Listen, if there's not a female out there that said I didn't try to get my hair to look like that, y'all be lying.
I mean, but the balls to be like a no-name artist in '79 and just to go shirtless on your album cover and be like,
yeah,
hey, baby. Like, it's just, Jesus. You gotta love Prince. Like, you gotta love him. Like, he's, like, every time I see the album cover, I just laugh my ass off. It's like, what the hell was he thinking?
well, I mean, pulled it off. So what do you know?
I mean, he did.
It works. It works, and
Prince.
it gets you in the mood for the music, I think. So,
Prince, making women wet for almost 50 years. But yeah, it's, I agree with you, Bob. It's like it's kind of like freshman Prince. I'll take freshman Prince, but
there you go.
It's
freshman Prince.
it's no senior year Prince.
Like
being
Prince
the quarterback
1.0.
He brought it though. He had it.
It's not Prince being the quarterback, stepping out of the locker room, having all the cheerleaders be on their knees waiting.
He's
like,
on
that's
string 3. I'm
Prince.
starting out like I got picked draft 4 or 5. I get you.
Like all the cheerleaders are like, oh, he's cute, but he's not the quarterback. Like it's just what it is. Like, but Jaimie, what did you think of this Prince album?
I'm gonna give you a straight up. When we get to the top 5, I had a top 4 because this album hit me in a way that I didn't have a lot of feelings towards every song specifically. I had like comments, little funny ha-has, and appreciation for his musical aspect, but I gave it a 2 out of 5. It's just because it started off too soft to me. I felt like I needed to light the candles and start doing my man in the car. Like we were on a drive on the way out of town, and I looked at him in the middle of the first song and said, "Are we supposed to be doing it right now?" Like it threw me off. Like I did enjoy some of the beats to the songs and some of the vibe, but it just was too much of a certain level that I'm not looking for. So I mean, 2 out of 5. If it was I'm looking for bedroom level, it'd be a 4.5 out of 5.
I mean, you know, your man was like, well, I mean, we can pull over here if you want to.
I mean, no, for real. In the middle of it, he looked at me and he goes, we go back to Minnesota and we're going to do all the Prince things. And I'm like, I'm all right with that. Like, I'm not against this situation at all. He is a big Prince fan, So as soon as I said we have albums to listen to, and I told him what we were listening to, he goes, okay. And as soon as we turned it on, I'm like, we're fucking okay.
I mean, I'm kind of part of me is like, what are Prince things? And is there a special collection toy box to go with it?
His home.
Paisley
His
Park.
home. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm just not going to random Prince spots. Like going up north. Like I live in Iowa.
Oh, I always forget where he's from. It's not like it's
Minneapolis.
It's
honey.
It's not well known fact to me.
And go to Prince's house is what we do.
I think they open it up. I mean, isn't it kind of like a Graceland kind of situation? Not in the kitschy thing, but yeah.
Yes, Bob, I love how you said that. Yes, they did open it up for that. And the biggest thing is that like we were talking about how he was like, I wanted to go there, and I'm like, well, go. Like shit. I'll go shopping. You'll go to Prince's house. I don't care. I'm down for it.
And you can go
Purple Rain with that pussy control.
And you can go up there and see where he played basketball because you remember the Dave Chappelle thing where and Charlie Murphy was over at Princess and they like played shirts and skins.
And then
they had pancakes, so you can see all that.
The only rule when you tour Prince's house is no black light.
Probably.
I don't think I'd want to see it. I don't think I wouldn't want to see it.
I think he cleaned up. That's my guess.
He's a busy man, and he had a lot of ladies.
Well,
and
he
men possibly.
He had people,
He had people that might have sucked ass. So I mean, for real, Prince. Like, I was kind of surprised in how soft and sensual about every song was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a 2 out of 5 for me. I just felt like it was too sad to say, too sad for me.
Uh,
Too much.
I, I liked it. It was a good
Mm,
midday like jam like to listen to, but I had one honorable mention for Prince as well. Actually, that seems to be a thing with my albums today. It is one honorable mention for each, but my honorable mention for this album was "Still Waiting" because I found that an enjoyable song and
mm-hmm.
the message behind it. Funny enough, "I Want to Be Your Lover" was my number five, which it had to be in the list because it's a classic. But I never got that whole "I want to be your lover, but I want to be your mother and sister too" thing. I'm like, what the fuck kind of kinky shit you into? I'm like, what the
You
fuck?
know, little of
But
this, little of that. It's
but
cold in Minneapolis. Come on.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
like the
is.
down south stuff, but up north a little awkward. I don't know.
And I mean, uh, my number four was "It's Gonna Be Lonely" because that song kind of hit home. And my number three is "Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad" because I've heard of that song. I just never actually listened to the whole thing. And
Hmm.
the guitar work in that song is just incredible. I mean, it's Prince, so what do you expect? But the guitar work
Right.
is incredible in that song. My number two was "Feel for You" because it's like a funky acid jazz type Prince song, and it reminds me of the background music in Hey Arnold. So I'm like, shit, I'm down for this.
It
I'm like,
reminded me of
this sounds like.
footballs.
Well, there you go, close enough. But
No,
I mean, it reminded me of the music Arnold used to put on in his bedroom all the time. So,
yeah,
and my number one, which is one of my newfound favorite Prince songs by far, is "Bambi" because the guitar in that song is, oh my god, phenomenal! Like
yeah,
so much good guitar in that song. So, and with Prince, you gotta look for the guitar always because he's a master. I mean, he can play what 17 instruments. So, I mean, but guitar's his
yeah.
masterpiece. Like so,
Yep.
Bambi
You
was
get
a.
to, you get to see all the instruments when you go to the Paisley Park. You get to see them all.
I might make a trip out to Minnesota now,
Yeah.
uh but what were your top five songs for Prince, Bob?
So a lot of the same ones, I will say. My honorable mention was "It's Going to Be Lonely," and then my top five, "I Feel for You," which I've never listened to this whole album before. I've heard songs here and there over time and so forth, but that's a Shaka Khan hit. "I Feel for
Yeah.
You," which I did not like when she sang it, but I loved it here. Isn't that weird? It's the same damn song, but totally different style and everything. And then next, "Still Waiting," and then "Bambi," kind of similar to what you mentioned with the guitar and everything. "Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad," and "I Want to Be Your Lover" was number one for me.
I mean,
We
it's
have a theme here with so far with the two albums. There seems to be a lot of sexual
uh
energy and all this stuff.
well, I mean, it's the 70s, so sexual energy was at peak. But in the 80s, it kind of died off because it was more heartbreak, and that's why hair metal came to be a thing. But
yeah, everybody's sad.
uh speaking of my daily heartbreak, Jaimie, why don't you? What were your top five?
Woo! Woo! All this time, and I just now start choking. Oh, I don't have a
Oh,
top five. I have a top four. I couldn't figure out who my number five was because
uh,
to me, I
almost
feel like
it.
I had too many
It was
honorable
Bambi.
mentions.
Oh, okay.
Too many honorable
all,
mentions.
all I'm gonna say is Chancey is screaming the abyss at you right now, but
Hey, he could
he's
scream from the abyss all he wants. What do you think he? Why? What do you
he's
think he's saying?
he's freaking out right now. He's like, it's motherfucking Prince, Jaimie. It's motherfucking Prince.
I know. So
They're all
they're
good. You could have it. The whole album could be
okay.
everything.
Exactly. So there's 9 songs on this album, Jeremy, and you want me to pick a top 5.
Hey, I didn't pull a Jeremy and do the whole album.
I'm saying I'm looking at the fact that says October 1979, and it says 9 songs. I listened to all 9 songs and I loved all of them, even though the first song I looked at Mike and said, should we dim the lights and start doing it? Because it was awkward. Then I'm like, I don't have a top 5. I have a number 1. So my number 2, 3, and 4 are just because I enjoyed the songs a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more, maybe. So number 4 is "I Feel for You." I I remember laughing at the title of the song and then laughing at the lyrics. So there's that. And then number 3, Why You Treat Me So Badly. I remember looking at Mike on the car ride, giving all the reasons on why you should treat me so badly. Number 2 is because of the lyrics screaming is Sexy Dancer.
Okay.
That would almost been my number 1, but number 1 was I Want to Be Your Lover, because I remember the moment in the song that I snapped over to Mike when he was driving going, we need to be doing it to listen to this music. Like, there's nothing more about this album other than like sexy time that I could think of that it made me feel awkward, other than, and we giggled most of the time and then talked about him wanting to go to the mansion. So I'm like, I can't do it with this album. 9 songs and I'm done.
This album, this isn't his Darling Nikki phase. His Darling Nikki phase to me is sex music. That's sex music.
But no, and like his little hamburger, his little chest hair right here, and like his flowing fucking hair, like he was doing a commercial for Head and Shoulders. I'm just saying, like, I'm loving the album cover. I'm loving where he came from, but I'm not loving the group of songs.
I mean, it's early Prince. You can't. It's gonna be not as good as.
But throw it in between some of the other songs because of how he was growing. I would have been okay with it, but like it was all in one, one kind.
I'm pretty sure it was only his second album ever, so he was still pretty fresh in the scene, and I don't think he wrote that.
Very fresh.
And I don't think he wrote that many songs at that point just yet. I think he was trying to get his footing out there in the Motown world, but I mean,
co-writer and he wasn't main writer.
Yeah, so I mean, he was probably doing what his record label told him to sing. So
I get that. I get that. But Prince is Prince, so we know he didn't just do what he was told.
He transcended. So there you go.
There you go.
What do you mean I can't record the songs with my shirt off and oil over my stomach? I'm gonna do it anyway.
This hamburger in this one square area.
Oh, you know it was a greasy burger. You know it's a greasy burger. It's a greasy burger. But
I think that you can get that at the cafe when you do the tour of Paisley Park and get the Prince hamburger.
90210. Each bit.
Yes. Well, Jaimie, what album did you decide to bring this week, and why?
I saw the year. And I, of course, always try to go by our guests. So it's 1979. I'm channeling my sister being born. And I'm channeling, actually, my mom and I's first concert together. It was a big Waterstock festival. Foreigner was there with Head Games. That is such a fun song. I know everybody, as soon as you say Head Games, they know what I'm saying. So that is the album I chose, is Head Games. And I loved everything about it. So
now did you when you listened to you gave me the Spotify list, they animated the album cover. Did you notice that she's wiping something on the stall there?
Yes. There was a couple times I'm like, what are we doing? And I'm like, but okay, all right.
Yeah,
I have visions of what it could be, but we're just gonna.
I mean, it's 79, and I see the title on Head Games, and I'm like, I see a chick leaning over a urinal backwards. I'm like, does she have a dick?
No. It reminds me of the days that I went to one of our horrible dive bars in Knoxville, Iowa. I'm going to give a shout out to Dingus. Nationals, it's the best bar to go to. National sprint car races, go to Dingus. And I tell you, some of them, women would be in the bathroom just like that, over the giant trough. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's not a urinal, it's the trough, right?
It was a trough, not a damn urinal. So this album cover made me laugh because I'm like, she trying too hard, but like us girls will do that. We will.
In a pinch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
when there's a long line for the ladies' room, are you kidding me?
I think though she's trying to wipe her number off of the stall though.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. She's playing those head games. She's playing head games.
Yeah.
But Jaimie, if you had to rate the album, what are you rating it?
Honestly, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I wanted to give it a 4, but there was a
You guys
few
are
moments.
tough. You guys are tough graders.
I
Yeah.
kind of was on this. It's because I like so much of that genre, the beat and the message it gives, but there was something that like I know they're holding out on, so
Mhm.
they didn't deserve the full 4. So they
Uh,
got the 3.5 stars.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure they're holding out for the album. They came out in the '80s with like 10 hits on it. But yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. They waited till I was born in 1985. I'm not mad about that. Are you kidding me? It's all right.
Oh
Thank
What
you.
yeah.
was
I
that?
mean,
What was that album? Do you remember the name of it? I'm trying to remember
No,
now.
not at all.
I
Cold
actually
as
just made
Ice
a
was on that album. Cold as Ice. That's
Cold
a
as
good
Woo,
one.
Ice,
yeah.
Hot Blooded. I'm
Hot
pretty
blooded.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Or,
Hot blooded.
uh, I want to say Urgent was on that too, or that might be on the
Urgent.
next one.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think it
Absolutely.
was called Cold as Ice though. I'm trying to remember
no,
what it
No,
was.
I
no.
don't. I should know. I should know because I just made a foreigner bracket too, actually. But uh, yeah. I mean, Bob, what did you think of Foreigner?
Oh, I love Foreigner. I mean, it's fantastic. I think it's great. So, I would give it a 4 out of 5 or higher, even because it's. I mean, it's kind of ubiquitous for the time period. Everybody listened to Foreigner. I mean, they had their own little mirror at the state fair that you could win whenever you played the games. If you guys remember that, all the
Okay, so
Foreigner
they're
album covers with Van
timeless.
Halen.
Yeah, they're timeless, I can
Yeah,
say. There you
yeah,
go.
and,
There you
and
Oh,
go.
they're definitely up there in hair metal legend. They are, but
yeah, it
uh,
early, right? So this is
Absolutely.
before, you say hair metal, but they weren't. No one's called them hair
uh,
metal at the time, but
And
it eventually became hair metal. But they were before that, just
so
like
if
the
you
Knack
call
was
them hair
early '80s.
metal
Yeah,
and you put them with Poison or you put them with Brett Michaels or any like just Brett Michaels or like Motley Crue or any
boy,
of them,
Motley Crue. Yeah, no,
there's a bit of a difference in their album releases and their voices that you hear things you hear from the releases
yeah.
of the records.
hmm
But I'm telling you now, you hear Foreigner in person and it's fucking like Loverboy, phenomenal. Every time.
hmm
Every time. It's like I've had to double check myself that I'm listening to them live. Every time.
Yeah, I mean it's
Everyone's
they are
wondering, will you come out
they're
tonight?
Hmm.
they're part of that. Like, there's a group of late '70s artists who were like kind of the head ahead of the time and became what hair metal would become, but harder.
Right. hmm
And I mean, these bands all kind of like they got either big in the '80s or they kind of faded out in the '80s. They went one of two
hmm
ways. But I mean, this album, I only knew one song on this album from the start, from the get go, and that was the title track. But the rest of the album actually surprised me, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Because well, a lot of these bands like this, you listen to one of their albums, and you're going to be like it's like Blue Oyster Cult. I love Blue Oyster Cult, but I can't listen to their full albums because they're just there's one or two songs I like, and then the rest are just like, it's okay. This is why am I listening to this? But it's
for the
this.
ambiance, it's kind of like a devil worshipping Prince album. It's Blue Oyster Cult, so you can just have the ambiance on it all there.
Yes. Yes.
I have
Those candles in the background, like yes, I
Yeah.
got it. Right there.
first time I ever heard that description of Blue Oyster Cult, but I'll fucking rock with it. It sounds right.
Yeah,
But
No,
no,
well,
like
I
that
mean,
was
I'm not
perfect.
saying they are. I'm just saying that
No,
that's what it conjures, right? It's
no,
a whole
you
conjures a
said
whole
it, and I
dark
felt like
thing. It's like Black
candle.
Sabbath, right? So Blue Oyster Cult and
Yes.
Black Sabbath kind of go together.
Yep.
those are two different genres to me. I mean,
Well,
they were both in a in a best metal song of the '80s bracket we just did. But I
right.
mean, we all said we don't feel like Blue Oyster Cult belongs in this bracket because
The,
they weren't really metal.
Blue Oyster Cult is more experimental, and Black Sabbath is definitely more metal. So, because you
Yeah,
think about Blue Oyster Cult, and they veer off into some really weird, wild
I mean,
territory
veteran
with
of
their
the
lyrics and the music, and it's just crazy.
veteran of the Psychic Wars, Take Me Away. Like
Yes,
they go, they're you want to talk about paranormal music? I think I even said to you on your show, Blue Oyster Cult is paranormal
yeah.
music,
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
but I mean, I enjoyed this album. I really did. If I had to rate it, I mean, I would easily give it a 4 out of 5 because it's definitely it's like something I could listen to again and enjoy, just not in a row. But I could definitely enjoy it again. It had a lot of great songs, and it's it's like a lot of bands back then. I could listen to their albums, but I'm not gonna. put it on every day. No, I mean that doesn't start till the '80s with like Crew. Like when Crew, I could put on Crew albums every fucking day of the week. But
I think
Foreigner,
Jaimie's
no.
still talking about Prince there in the background. 'Cause
No, no. Okay, so I'm like,
she's over there. She's trying to make some arrangements for when this is over.
oh,
You
woo!
know, you know,
Don't be
you
calling
know.
me out like that. Don't be calling.
I
No,
I
I was
I had to
starting to
bring up
talk.
Darling Nikki.
I was starting to talk about some stuff at first, but then I am watching wrestling at the same time, so I
Oh,
was
okay,
talking about
gotcha.
CM Punk.
I
Well,
mean,
so you're seeing other hamburgers on more muscular bodies.
exactly.
More grilling happening.
Right, it's right.
Uh, I mean, I had to bring up Darling Nikki, and now Jamie's thinking about what she could do with the magazine.
Yeah.
But uh, but yeah, I mean, what were your top five in your album, Jamie?
Okay. I listened to them again today, and I didn't have a lot of crazy notes on them because honestly, there is something different about every song and the kind of like the message it gives or the beat it gives you and it gets you excited for. So number 5 for me, Women. I think it's great. It cracked me up when I got done listening to the album. The first song that it repeated 3 times extra than the other songs was Women. So I feel like Spotify was telling me something. Number 4 was Love on the Telephone. I just enjoyed the beat to that. But number 3 was the start of the album, which was Dirty White Boy. I felt like that was a great way to start the album off. And so I feel like it makes sense to go to number 2. I'll Get Even with You. If you don't know a lot of Foreigner songs, As Cold as Ice or Hot Blooded, especially if you're a Pitch Perfect fan, whatever it may be, I'll Get Even with You is a song that when you start to hear it, you start to think of those other songs. You start to like make things connect to Foreigner. But number 1 is definitely Head Games. Absolutely. When I looked through that whole entire 1979 thing, I kept going through all of the albums, and that is the literal song that I kept singing. So it's Head Games. We all know a friend, a stupid bitch that's our friend, an ex boyfriend or girlfriend that has played Head Games. So it is number 1.
I mean, who doesn't enjoy some fun head games, especially when you listen to Prince?
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? I did have a joke written down for that. But I forgot to mention my honorable mentions for this album was 17 in the Modern Day. So we're gonna forget my jokes and we're gonna understand that this whole album was really actually pretty good. It was not like my intentional pick at first though. So but I am very happy with
Yeah.
this pick.
Yeah, you should be. But what were your top five, Bob?
So that's a good question here. I gotta get my notes here. So Rev the Red Line was my honorable mention, and then the Modern Day number 5. That oddly enough, Head Games number 4, a little lower on the chart than you were. I'll Get Even with You. Women, I love the song Women, but I hate the lyrics. And listening to the lyrics now, I'm like, it's kind of cringy.
It is
And then,
cringy, but I'm thinking
yeah,
about it too, and I'm like, but there was something about it.
yeah, no, I think the music was fantastic, but then I'm like, I mean, come on, these lyrics are just
I kind of feel like if we should redo those lyrics and see what like that album would be like today.
right, yeah, exactly. It
A
was a little simplistic or
lot
something.
different.
Yeah.
I feel like that song today would get a lot of men into fucking family court, but just saying.
Right.
And
It'd get
then
a lot of
yeah.
something going on.
Dirty White Boy was my number 1 because it's just so singable, don't you think? You got to sing it. Whenever you hear it, you just got to sing it. I mean, it's just one of those kind of things where it's almost impulsive.
But Jeremy, Dirty White Boy, did it not make you think of Sexy Boy?
No, not at all.
Shut the F up. It did not stop. It did. The
It
heartbreak
did.
did. I guarantee it.
I cannot see anybody come to a fucking wrestling ring with a theme song, "Dirty White
A
Boy." Like,
boy.
no,
Dirty white boy.
no. I
He's a
mean,
dirty white
okay,
boy.
I mean,
okay.
Bob needs to keep it up with that damn video right there. It's like, dirty
I
white
mean,
boy.
maybe that's a song that Kurt Angle should have used when he was trying to copy HBK. But no, no. Fucking, it's not "Sexy Boy." "Sexy Boy" is one of the greatest theme songs of all time. But
Jimmy will love you for saying that one.
but I did have one honorable mention for this album, and same as Bob, my honorable mention was "Rev on the Red Line." I did like that song. It's a good classic '70s song. My number 5 was "Dirty White Boy" because it was catchy, but I also I'm like I would get sick of this song so goddamn fast. And I'm like, my number 4 was "17" because I mean, there's so many songs out there from bands in the '70s and '80s about girls being 17. I mean, it's almost cringeworthy, almost, I guess. But
well, the Beatles
it's
had she was just 17, so I mean it goes way back.
Beatles.
So.
Beatles had one. Skid Row had one that was similar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Winger had one that was similar. Like, there's a lot of bands.
Yeah,
I mean, it was so common for 15, 16, 17-year-olds to like take off from their home and like go road tripping on all these tours and shit. So like those ages and the age of consent in a lot of states from that to 18 isn't really that much. So I get it. But nowadays, it's like you look at someone that's a half a year younger than you and you're going to jail. So
I mean,
times have changed.
It's not times have changed. It's just people are more willing to sue nowadays.
Both.
And I mean, I always said it whenever people come up with one of these artists that, oh, they slept with an underage girl. Motherfucker, do you think they're checking IDs at the tour bus? You think they're checking IDs? No, they're not. Nobody in the right mind is going to check IDs because that's going to cause more problems than it's worth. Like, it's the girl's choice to go to the tour bus, not the guy's. The guy's not fucking chloroforming her, knocking her out, and bringing her there like some.
I will say on the behalf of some of my friends that actually are touring artists, there are some. Most of them do talk on that level and care and give a shit. So like the 17 thing, it was for me in my honorable mention like cringeworthy at first, but I'm like, you know what? No, the age difference from then to what those artists were is very common now, and like even at my age, like no, like it's.
I mean,
the name just doesn't age well, but it makes sense for back then.
I mean, as Skid Row said, she's only 17. She may be young, but she's old enough for me.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, it's. But they also have a song called "Sweet Little Sister," so we won't go into Skid Row. But where was that? Yeah, number 3 was "Do What You Like" because I like the idea behind that song, and it was a very enjoyable song as well. Like, and it wasn't even like the song wasn't even meant to be dirty. It was just more like do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. Like, that's basically the message they're getting across. But no, my number 2 was "Head Games." I honestly went into this assuming "Head Games" would be my number 1. I honestly thought it would be, but then I heard a song that I saw the title of, and I'm like, is this the original? And then in the '80s they had the remake, and then I listened to it. I'm like, this is not the same song at all. And I'm like, this reminds me a little bit of Styx. And I'm like, my number 1 is "Blinded by Science."
Oh yeah, there you go. The Thomas Dolby song was the.
I feel like I need to listen to that again now that you say Styx.
It reminds me of like one of those epic Styx songs where like it just like keeps going on and on, but like the instrumentals are so good you don't care.
Well, no, there is something, whether it Styx or something else. I'm glad you said that, Jeremy. There's something familiar about that song and just in general that
I mean, if you listen to "Man in the Wilderness" by Styx and then listen to "Blinded by Science," the two of them could be the same song almost, like instrumentally.
Yeah, but my mind couldn't get past the title of the song for the '80s song.
I know. I mean that's why I originally thought, like, is this the original version of the '80s song? Like I thought it was gonna be.
I think
that's
Thomas Dolby saw this song. He said, "That's a good title. I think I'll steal
but
that."
he's like I'll change it. He's like I'll change it from blinded by science to blinded me with science.
Blinded me with science.
Listen, somatics, whatever. That's great. I love it. It was a problem back then when they didn't give a
She
shit about
blinded
grammar.
me
Woo!
With
science.
Yeah, but I love that fucking song.
Both. Fuck both of you. That was great.
She's poetry in motion.
You are reading my fucking mind, Bob. As soon as I think of that song, that's the next song comes to mind is Poetry in Motion.
That's right.
Which I'm telling you, Jaimie, Hardy Boys should have used that for their fucking theme song, Poetry in Motion by Thomas Dolby.
Mm-hmm.
Hardy Boys and Poetry, what?
That should have been their theme song, is Poetry in Motion by Thomas Dolby. It's Poetry in Motion. Because they named their fucking finisher after that. They should have fucking had that as a theme song.
Mm.
But
stop it. I'm gonna have to listen to that, and I'm gonna hate you now.
You already hated me.
Yeah, it seemed pretty obvious at the beginning of the show,
but well, folks, we have brought you these albums thrice as always, and what's next we got in store? I got no fucking clue, so don't come to me yet. But
well, apparently it's Thomas Dolby and maybe some Skid Row.
Yes.
Don't even say that, because I will bring fucking Skid Row. I fucking love Skid. I love Skid Row.
Maybe
you never know.
Toss in a little wing.
Oh, I have not brought Motley Crue in the. I have not brought Motley Crue in the show either, and I've been waiting for the right episode to do it.
I brought 6 a.m. and you haven't brought Motley Crue.
I try to line things up with the guests, and our guests like metal music for some reason. And I mean, not for some reason. I love metal music, but our guests either go to metal or rap or experimental weird shit like Michael Colby fucking Aaron shit. So it's a mix, and it's
by this. I know I've looked at the Google sheets, but listen, we're gonna do some Motley Crue. Thank you very much, honeys. I've got you.
I've brought multiple Styx albums.
She's the one that's gonna make you feel good. She's the one that's gonna make you feel all right.
Yes.
I hope so. Wearing that white beater, I could hope so. But
not a white beater, it's black. First off,
that's what it looks like when you get done beating the wife. But but yes, folks, we brought you albums straight, and Jaimie better get up here before he gets himself in trouble. But we brought you 3 albums tonight, and we want to thank Bob for coming on, because it's been a blast of an episode. We had a shit ton of fun doing this, as always. Bob, I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, this has been great. And thanks for, reintroducing me to old Prince and reminding me of Foreigner. And now I can't stop singing Dirty White Boy here at the house. I'm going to drive right crazy.
I feel like it ties you right into their other albums. That album makes you want to do more.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Exactly. You're welcome.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much for bringing it back up here. So
heck yeah, Foreigner's amazing.
You know, Jaimie. You start with the head games, and you get a little hot blooded, then it becomes urgent. Mm-hmm. But right. Emergency. But well, folks, Jaimie, where can they find you if they want to find out?
Apparently, she's at that bar peeing in the trough.
Yeah, you can find me in the trough. You can find me on the Book of Faces, and that's where you can find everything else. I'm on the Book of Faces, Snapchat, Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not really on there. I just have an account. So all of that, Slipknot Chica 17, just find this face with some glasses, and that's me.
I like your glasses, by the way. I meant to say that earlier.
Thank you. I normally do some red ones, Sally, Jesse, Raphael style, but I'm feeling different today. So,
well, they're nice. They look good.
Oh, thanks. You listen to early Prince, and you want some weight in your face. What can I say? But and she mutes, so she's saying go that face. But
well, my dog just went at the same time that I muted. So Boomer just went at the same time. Swear
A
on it.
little Scooby
Swear.
Doo there.
No, my little Scooby Doo. Yeah. Yeah.
Wanna be your lover? But yeah. You can find both your musers on Facebook as well. We stream on this page by this creature called Squatchy Largefoot. He's a large bipedal Sasquatch of nature. Learn to talk and use the web through the Arcturians and Reptilians. So he likes to broadcast our show, and I don't like to tell him no because he'll rip my arms off. You can also check us out on the Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed UQ Podcast Collective Facebook group. You can find us on XXBaby and the Gram as that Juggler Bastard. You can find us on TikTok, though not recently, as that Juggler Bastard Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube, the only place to see every episode that's ever been done. If you want to learn more about this great mythical beast called the Chansey that I mention all the time, you can go check out the YouTube. All our episodes are there, Maniacal Music Musings. And come back next week, same time, same place, to learn what 3 albums we're talking about. And be sure to tune in this Saturday at 9 p.m. East for the final second part of the Ranker Top 79 80s Heavy Metal Songs bracket. Woo, the first part was 49 songs and fucking difficult and lasted over 2 hours. This second part's only 29 songs, I believe, or 30. 31 songs. 31 songs this time around, but it's the top ranked one, so it's going to be a little more difficult even, but we'll get through it, and we'll see what's coming next down the bracket Hall of Fame here. But come back next week, folks, and till then, have a good one. And remember, I want to be your lover. Princess Henry.